Hey, my reactors, we back with Coldest Winter Ever. Continue with chapter 11. Okay. You shouldn't ask security. You should have asked security. You know they take all the messages. Anyway, I saw your girl Simone a few hours ago. What did she say? You know the regular. She said give her a call. She needs to talk to you about something. Anything else? Nah, nothing. Listen, Lachey, my mom's is sick again. It looks like I'm going to sleep over in the hospital with her tonight. Could you do me a favor? Yeah, anything. Just hit me over like old times, Lachey laughed. But I knew she was serious. I didn't mind putting a few bucks in her palms for a favor. Scare me out. In my room, taped to the inside railing of my bed, there is a key. Use it to unlock my trunk. I further explained that she should pack some selective dresses, pants, blouses, and 2 pairs of my shoes. 1 flats, 1 heel. All that down, where are you going? I'm going to the hospital to stay with my mom's. She needs me. Besides, you know me with the clothes. Even if I just going for one night, I need to have choices. I told her. Lachey laughed. Meet me tomorrow at 12 at Penn Station downstairs under the schedule board. Digital display. Tomorrow 12 noon, Penn Station under the schedule display, she repeated. And make sure you lock my trunk up and bring me the key. Got it, she said. Lachey had a damn good question. Where am I going? But in the interest of not being predictable, I wasn't going back to the house of success tonight. From the subway platform, I walked upstairs at the 96th Street station. I had decided to keep the one shoe I had on my left foot. After a minute of looking around, I realized the only types of stores that were open were restaurant delis and vegetable stands. 8 minutes later, my dirty black foot got a splinter or a piece of glass or something in it. It was the first time my own body ever grossed me out. Finally, I came upon a 24-hour pharmacy. They didn't have no shoes for sale, but I was able to buy some hurry pink Baron slippers, cotton ball, alcohol, and sewing needles. I found a chair outside of a cafe to sit on. As soon as I opened the cotton balls and took the top off the alcohol, a waiter came out. May I help? May I take your order? He asked. Nothing for me, I responded. Well, there is a drink entry minimal to occupy these outdoor tables and chairs. I'm not hungry. This only take a minute. The waiter looked suspicious on my side of the table, saw my foot and said, oh no, miss, you won't be allowed to do that here. Okay, then I have a cheeseburger deluxe and a Coke. I had to ask you to leave now or I'll go and get the manager. So I walked around aimlessly until I discovered the wide open, deserted step at the Museum of Natural History. With only the midnight moonlight and a dull glare from a street light, I sat wiping my foot with the alcohol and cotton balls. I successfully removed the splinter with the sewing needle. The pink slippers were definitely not the bomb, but there are 2 of them and they match. Besides, it will only be a 10-hour fashion statement. The store will open and then I could get me some proper shoes. Whether or not to check into a hotel was running through my mind. After shopping for Daddy, I only had $1,650 left. Now having a clear plan was stressing me out, so I decided to save my dough until I was sure what was my next move would be. I walked for blocks and blocks, just trying to keep it moving. In a city like New York, sitting still could make you anybody's target. The McDonald's I looked up on closed at 3 o'clock a.m., so I took the $15 worth of magazine I just purchased from a newsstand and moved next door to the donut shop. I ordered 2 glazed donuts and coffee just to keep the cashier from saying I couldn't sit at the counter. I opened my hip hop magazine and began to read the articles about my favorite hip hop stars. Look at these rap chicks in the magazines, I thought to myself. If I could rhyme, I could get paid out the ass. Some of these rap girls had loot and still couldn't figure out where to get their weed put in right. I cracked up. Just then, some dudes wearing the finest blue suit the thrift shop had to offer sat in the next chair to me. Hey, sweetheart, he said, flashing a smile with so much plaque on his teeth, it looked like a yeast infection. What can I do for you, he asked. I pushed my face into my magazine, ignoring him. Are you a ballerina, sweetheart? What? I said loud. I said so loud, I put him on blast. Calm down, sweetie. I just want to talk to you for a minute. I'm saying because you look like a ballerina to me with those long, sexy legs. Now, me, I'm a manager. I'm always looking for a new talent. He laid a dirty business card on the counter which read Girls Galore Management. No, I'm not no damn ballerina, I said, picking up my stuff. Do I look like a fucking ballerina? Do you know any ghetto girl ballerinas? Checking my hostility, he said, now come on. Now, don't get uptight. I'm just trying to do some business with you. Ballerina is just a fancy way of saying dancer. Well, I can dance, I said, moving down 2 steps, separating him from me, but I ain't no dancer. Now don't go turning up your nose, little girl. A good dancer can bring in about 300 to 500 a night. Doing what? I asked with interest. Why dancing? He said with another nasty smile. I looked at his whole entire face, that fucked up suit and the black dirt caked up under his long nails. I jumped up, threw one hand on my hip and said, yeah, right. Dancing, sucking a little dick, taking it up the ass a few times and a bunch of shit like that, huh? The man who spoke with a lower voice left as quickly as he came. By 5 a.m., a fat lady wearing a cheap, greasy apron nudged me. There's no sleeping in here, she pointed to the sign on the wall that said no loitering, no barefoot. It don't say no sleeping, I said. Well, you ain't buying nothing, so you are loitering. I point to the glazed donuts and the cold cup of coffee left on the counter, 2 seats over. She twisted up her mouth and said, that was here when I started my shift. I stood up to get my pocketbook that I was sitting on. I pulled out 50 cents and said, I'll take a glazed donut. She spun on her dirty plastic work shoes with attitude, handed me the donuts and a tissue paper. I looked up at the clock thinking I only had 1 hour until sunlight. If I had to buy one donut every 10 minutes, I would. I strained to think at 8 o'clock. The sun was well up, but I was so exhausted I couldn't put anything in order in my head. The only thing I had decided for definitely was after Lachey brought my clothes, I would check into a hotel, sleep, and shower, and figure it all out. The fact that Simone would not really Simone, but her crew knew where to find me put me on defensive. I didn't like that arrangement. I should be the one coming up with the surprises. The Koreans, who are always open the earliest and the latest, sold me a hat and a pair of glasses. Total cost $7. They were disposable. There was no way I was going to walk out in the morning rush where professional people wore suits, dresses, and trench coats with bedroom slippers on my feet. At least I wouldn't walk without first shielding my eyes with sunglasses, and I had to add to my disguise and a sense of mystery. Anyway, by 10 a.m., I would be standing outside of Macy on 34th Street. I'd get some new shoes, maybe a moderate price dress. Then I toss this depressing disguise. Why should I go shopping when Lachey was going to bring my clothes? Because I wouldn't give her the pleasure of seeing me down and out. Besides, looking tired, she would never know what happened to me last night. I wouldn't be caught dead in this get-up by anybody who know me. Macy's bathroom was a welcome relief. It definitely beat the filthy, claustrophobic closet bathroom in the donut shop. The couch, comfortable chairs, clean counters, soap dispensers, and toiletries were just what I needed. I had already begun to smell my underarms. I slid straight out the soiled panties. I threw them in a garbage can. I washed myself with the rough paper towels. I splashed my face with water to wake up. A sprinkle of water in my hair. I swept it up in the bun. I took a deep breath and said, this will have to do. My keen eyes was ready to find the best quality walking shoes at a reasonable price. As I picked through some of the sales items on the table, I looked up briefly only to notice an elderly white man watching me. Every time I would look back to see if he was still there, he would be staring right back at me. He was careful to stay about 4 feet away from me when I was walking. When the entire scene became too aggravating for me, I turned around quickly to startle him, throwing my hands up in the air, then on my waist. I said firmly, "Yes, can I help you?" At first, he tried to have a blank look on his face. Then he stepped to me and said in a repulsive, mild, courteous tone, "Do you mind if I take a look in your bag?" "You damn right I mind." I snapped right back to my natural reaction. And I'll be back, y'all.